Hey, we're live. Welcome back to another episode of a Mountain Bike Q&A, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, as always, Johnny U. Thank you guys for coming on the show, watching. Thanks for listening. If you're listening on the Spotify or your iTunes, muchos gracias. I thank you very much for all your support. You know who you are. If you are new to the channel, please do the like and subscribe. It really helps me. It doesn't help me. I love doing this. You guys know I love doing this. I'm not going to stop until I interview everyone twice, every mountain biker twice. It doesn't matter. We got some people in the comments section here, but I'll bring them up when we bring Calvin on. I did want to thank the boys over at Virginia Key, boys and girls, the volunteers, Frenchie and his volunteers. This St. Patrick's Day, they put on a great event for everyone. They had the kids got to ride bikes with a guy dressed up like a leprechaun. I mean, he was the leprechaun. And they had a band. They had some great merch there. I picked up one of the new Virginia Key Trails T-shirts. They got a lot of great swag. I do want to plug them because they're so incredible. There is a link down in my the section down here where I type stuff. It's go over to Virginia Key. What do you call that? The Virginia Key bicycleclub.org. The link is down there. Show your support. If you want to donate money or your time, you can sign up. If you want to buy some merch, which I did, it's fantastic. And I got to ride with the mountain bike chicks. I've had them on the show, and they were like 15, 20 deep. It was crazy. I had so much fun riding with these girls. I only rode about 5 or 6 trails with them. I had some other stuff I had to do that day, but thank you, ladies, for letting me eat your dust. Thank you so much. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I met this guy. He came on my show 2 years ago. It's April 22nd of 2022. It's coming up on 2 years. I fanboyed when I met him the first time. I'm still geeking out that he would come back on this show. He's such an incredible content creator. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring him on. Calvin from the Shred Shed. What's going on, brother?
Hello, am I here? Am I here?
You are here. You're live.
I like it.
Is your heart pounding?
It is. It is. This is my first ever live event.
Oh, stop it, man. You're not. You're just
you said fanboy, and I'm fanboying over here.
All right,
channel's growing. You got all these big YouTubers on, and
I'm looking for the end stream button. How you been? You been good? It's been good. 2 years.
Yeah, it's been 2 years. It's been a very busy 2 years with life and work and everything. Yeah.
Great.
Been busy.
Let's go over to the comments section real quick. We've got MTB Kazuzeki. He'll be listening while riding on the Fullerton Loop. Dude, thank you so much. Be careful when you're listening to my goofy voice and hitting some chunk over there. We got the Trail Monster in the house. Howdy ho. Thank you so much. Real quick, Mr. Monster, Neil, I sent you stickers. They came back because this idiot forgot to put your street number. I put the street name, but not the number. This is what you're getting involved with, Calvin, tonight. I just got to let you know that. Trail Pimp is in the house. Thank you as always. Incredible. My wife is in the house. She says, hey, kids. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together from Finland, the Fractured Rider. This guy is watching you right now from Finland, Calvin.
What time is it there?
What is it, 4 o'clock? 4 o'clock there. I'm not like talking like he's going to answer me. He'll answer me. Ladies, JT, the Dusty Dutchman. JT, if you can see, if you're not just listening in your basement, Dusty Dutchman sticker. It looks so good. I don't know about you, Calvin. Do you have a bunch of these? What are these things called? The Yeti tumblers?
I'm not high roller enough to have what you would say a bunch. I got 2. One from work, and we bought one.
Yeah, I got a few of them. They hold stickers really well.
Right.
Joey Yates, ladies and gentlemen, is in the house. Oh, excuse me. See, I'm telling you. Oh, hold on. You have started doing these 2 hours earlier. No, I always do them 8 o'clock, buddy. 8 o'clock my time, but it's okay.
2 a.m. there.
No, it's 2 hours. I think it's 4 there. He has crazy work hours.
A couple comments up above, he said 2 a.m.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
Wow.
And then Zach, Tumor Warrior. What's up, brother? Thanks for joining in. Now, when you get time, Calvin, and we'll get to you.
I'll take it back.
You got to check out all these great content creators. They're all incredible. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, man. I meant that when I said that I fanboyed 2 years ago, because I'm such a huge, just your content is incredible.
Appreciate it.
And just, I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to be on. I think my wife, I even told her, I was like, the shred shed's coming on. And I had like 10 subscribers then. So I'm going backwards. I appreciate you for both times coming on.
What's funny is both times you invited me, I was in your neck of the woods both times. So last time I was down visiting in-laws in Florida, you sent me a message like, dude, I'll be back in like a week. Let's do it. And then this time I had just gotten back like the day before from Florida.
I don't remember.
I know. It's a quick, it was a sneaky trip. No bikes were involved. It was just a down visit family.
Now that was West Coast, right?
We were in Hudson, which is, I think, just north of Tampa.
Okay.
So, yeah, Gulf side.
I've never been there. You should go. You bring your bike next time. I mean, there are great trails over there. The Shed says he's been watching your channel since you did a video in Jersey.
Yeah, I recognize the Shed. He's commented on probably all of my videos, and he's been around a long time.
Shed's good guy. I don't even know where to begin. I've got so much going on up here. It's hyper crazy. First off, look at this shed of yours behind you. What is this? Your garage or is it your shed?
It's a garage. It's definitely a work in progress. So when we bought it, the garage was not a selling point, to say the least. Like, it was insulation falling out of place. If you look back at some of the videos over the last like year and a half, like, it looked gross. And I've been in the process of fixing it up a little bit. I OSB'd the walls and ceiling and everything, redid some electrical in here and stuff. And next is going to be paint. And then kind of finalizing like a corner that I'll deem like a studio space for filming and bike repair and junk like that. So
now you're still in Michigan.
Yeah, it's freezing here.
Don't do that to me.
Yeah, it's like 25 degrees and crazy windy right now. We actually got a little bit of snow this morning.
What?
Yeah.
It's
great.
Summer.
Yeah, there. Which actually, it's funny that you mentioned that, because we had a rough winter here, meaning like we didn't get much snow. We had a lot of warm weather. A lot of the ski hills in the state struggled and stuff this year, but we had a lot of like 50-degree days throughout the winter. And then we went to Florida for a week and it was just beautiful weather down there. Like, we actually lucked out for once, and it was in like the 70s and 80s, and then came back and it was nice for a couple of days. And it's like, oh, you're back in Michigan. It's going to be cold again. So it's been in the 20s every day for the last couple of weeks.
Oh, that's fun. I was riding in Virginia Key, St. Patrick's Day, and it feels like 90 degrees. It was one of those where you push on your helmet and it just pours out.
Yeah, the sweat check.
Oh, no bueno, sir. Let's go disc golf. Yeah, I'll disc golf 7 days a week, twice on Sunday. I love it. Do you have a Shred Shed sticker on the pallet wall in the back?
I see it.
There it is. I got to get better lighting on this so it shines. But yes, I do. Yes, I do. Do you know Let's Go disc golf?
Yeah, that's my brother.
Hi, brother. Do you disc golf? I think we talked about this.
I've stepped away from it. I did a little bit. It's a very fun thing, but I can only have so many hobbies. I have very little time and not enough time to do any of the things I enjoy doing. So I do a little bit, but not really anymore.
No, I think we talked about this. I can't throw the disc golf.
That's kind of an important part. So,
well, no, I can throw a regular so I play with a regular Frisbee.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I could hit a fly off a barn from 100 yards away with a regular Frisbee. But once you get that underhanded thing,
Not me. I can't do that.
You can't do that.
No.
So let's go back. Let's refresh people's memories, because some of these people may have not watched the first one. What is it that you do over there in the Michigans? And talk a little bit about yourself, family, dogs.
Yeah, family. So it's my wife, myself, and we have a now 2.5-year-old daughter, Quinley. We also have a German Shepherd named Rusty. We bring Rusty along on as many rides as we can, which around here is just kind of XC kind of stuff. But a lot of our rides are more bike trips, so traveling, and he unfortunately has to stay home for those. So,
Rusty.
Our daughter is striding around on her strider like crazy. She's got incredible balance for a 2-year-old. She started riding that around in this past fall. So around when she was around 2 years old, exactly. And yeah, I think we might push her to start getting on some pedals this year. We'll see. But I have a kids ride shotgun, so she comes along on a lot of single track and stuff too. So it's fun.
That's so. Folks, if you haven't listened to our first interview, one of my favorite videos, if you go onto his YouTube, is him building that bicycle for his daughter. It is so captivating. If you like bike builds, the way he did it, the way you did it was just, we thought you were building a bike for you.
Yeah, I was going for that. And I had a few people say that, that I stumped them, which is kind of cool.
Hold on. We've got some time. Do you mind? Let me pull this up real quick. I'm not going to play it all. This isn't the build, right?
No, it's not that one.
It's
a terrible thumbnail.
Which is funny because you may be one of the best thumbnailers.
It's New Bike Day. It's that
New
one.
Bike Day.
Which I had to alter the silhouette picture of the Strider to give it a fake top tube, so it looked a little bit more like a real bike.
Look, is this it?
Yep, that's it.
Look at this. He does it. It's all the ASMR. He gives you the hint of the top tube there, and the putting in the grease of where the stem and the fork go, the wheels.
The foam wheels.
I mean, you see the plastic wheels, but look at this. Look at what, you don't know what he's building. And then bam. I'm dying here. It was so incredible. Now, as a father, and you building that bike for her, and now you watch her ride it, what's going on in there? Being a biker and doing that video and now having her ride it.
Yeah, it's really cool. Especially like to look back, like my wife and I have watched that video probably a dozen times with our daughter because she knows it's her bike, she can see it. And she's like, oh, it's my bike. And so we'll watch it together. So it's so weird seeing myself put together a bike where, like, at the time we didn't know if we were having a boy or a girl. We didn't know anything. Like, first kid, new parents, all that stuff. And then now it's like she's sitting here watching it with us, and you can see the excitement on her face as her bike's on the TV screen. Like, it's bizarre.
She's all like, that's my bike.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's good. And that's what's great about your little YouTube thing and doing that stuff, or any of our YouTubes, is that, especially if you have kids, they get to come back and relive that with you, and you get to share those moments.
Yeah.
Now, what is it that you do for a living other than make incredible bike build videos?
It's a good thing it's not my day job. I work in the finance industry. So I work at a credit union here in Michigan. I'm on the finance team. I'm a senior financial analyst and have been there for better part of 5 years now. So
I think I forgot that.
Yeah, it's pretty dry work compared to like the creative side of doing videos and content and stuff. But I enjoy it. I love it. It's a great job.
So financial analyst.
Yeah.
Mountain bike content creator. And again, I told you we will, go back to some of your stuff. How does one all of a sudden go, I can do this?
Like YouTube videos?
Yeah.
I still don't think I've said I can do this, but here we are a couple years in and we're still trying. So I have always had GoPros and I've always filmed stuff whether it be wakeboarding or snowboarding. Like growing up, my brothers and I would just film us doing stuff, like whatever sport we were doing, we'd have a camera on.
Yeah.
And I remember when we were kids, like we took a trip to Colorado, and for Christmas, I got one of the old like handheld camcorders that had like the tapes you put in it.
Yeah.
It's in my snowboard coat pocket. And I'm going down. Like if I fall, it's going to cause damage to my body.
You're going to break that and you're going to break your hip.
Right. Right.
Oh, I love it.
We'd always lug those things around, but, so I'd always film stuff and I'd always, rode mountain bikes. And then it would have been in late 2019. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law, they are big into mountain biking as well. And we were talking one day and he's like, we should start making YouTube videos. Like, let's just film around. Like we're already filming our stuff. Let's just upload it to YouTube. And I'm like, why have we never did that? Why have we never just hit upload? Like, even if you're not making a video, like how now, like I'll have a scripted video and B-roll and just planned out and you're coordinating things. If you're already filming the ride and you're just going to delete it anyways, why not do something with it?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of how it started. And it's addictive. Like you get a view and it's like, oh, it was a view, but it wasn't me watching it. So somebody else watched it. And I didn't send it to anybody. So yeah, someone on the internet found this. Unfortunately for them, they found this poor video and had to suffer through it for however long they watched for. But that's kind of how it started. And then I just, I want to make another one and another one. And you find yourself going out of your way to make a video. And it's not just filming your rides and you're going on your garage and you're filming a repair. And yeah, it's fun. I love it.
Yeah, I was looking while you were talking. The question I wanted to bring back was, you're not just a solo rider. You're just not the only person in your family that bikes. Talk to me about this. This is a family of bikes. These people love going out and pedaling. Tell me about your
pedaling, but yeah, yeah. I grew up with my parents and two brothers, and we all did all of our sports together. So if it was, like I said, snowboarding, wakeboarding, mountain biking, BMX, like every sport we did, we all did together as a family. It was, you're not getting one thing, you're getting 5 of them. So my poor parents. We all started racing BMX. One year, I think we were at the skate park or something like that. And my dad got wind they were building a BMX track in our town. And he started talking to the guy who was in charge of building it. He's like, like, what kind of bikes do you need? Like at the time we had these GT like steel BMX bikes. So like the pegs are like welded onto the frame and welded onto the forks. So like the guy's like,
oh wow,
you can't have those, but all you need is a bike. Like you can't have pegs, you got to have whatever brakes, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So we got one race bike for me and my two brothers to share to try. And I think I was 10 or 11. And my youngest brother is, I think, 5 years younger than me. So imagine the size difference between me and my youngest brother. So the bike's too small for me. It's too big for him. We're all making it work. Yeah. And it was just to try and see if we even had interest in it. And sure enough, we did. And then fast forward 1 year, and my whole family's into racing. So we were traveling around the country, racing, going to different races like year round, because some of the races are indoors too. So we're going to these places indoors, and it must have been my dad got word that, there's some really cool mountain bike trails in some of these areas, or I'm sure there was some overlap of the guys that we raced with also were into mountain biking. So just conversations through that. Again, I was like 10. I don't remember this, but at least how it evolved. But it ended up being where we all had race bikes, and then we all had mountain bikes, and then we're throwing them all into the cars. And then we're also putting our BMX freestyle bikes in, because while we're going to these indoor races, we're also going to Ray's Indoor Mountain Bike Park in the winter. And yeah. So that's kind of how it evolved. We all grew up racing BMX and mountain biking together. As we've gotten older, we've all kind of picked our own hobbies in life and stuff. And my two brothers don't ride anymore, but my parents do mountain bike. They do a lot of fat biking primarily. So fat biking, gravel riding, that kind of stuff. So we still ride with them quite a bit.
Trail Pimp would like to know, are you just, a single speed kind of guy?
I'm not. I've never had one. When I was a kid, my dad had a full rigid single speed 29er. So about as niche as it gets. Wow. And it was fun to mess around on, but this was never my taste, I guess. I'd take one. If someone said, hey, here's a single speed. Sure. Yeah. You probably won't see me building one.
I love your family. I want to be a part of your family.
Come on up, man. Come up to the mitten.
Because it's you're so sweet. Like the whole family gets involved. I mean, it's incredible
It's fun.
that you've got that going on. I mean, you should be aware. And if you're not, I'm going to tell you that is a blessing. That is something great to have.
Yeah. Yeah, trust me, I understand that to the fullest. It's great. And then I guess I only touched on my immediate family. My wife's sister and her husband are just as big into mountain biking as we are. So we do at least one big trip with them per year. So like when we went to Whistler, it was with them. We did some Bentonville trips. So usually our big kind of downhill style, like fun trip, not just going to pedal, like that kind of riding, that's usually with them.
Nice.
But we'll also go to like Copper Harbor and Marquette and stuff with my parents too.
I'm dying to get to Bentonville.
It's
I might
fun.
go to the festival this year. I'm
Yeah.
teetering on it. I just to hang out. I mean, I want to ride, but being a creator such as yourself there's so many.
Yeah.
Have you been to things like that? Have you been to festivals?
Yeah, I'm actually wearing a shirt from one I went to, a Bentonville Outer Bike. That was in maybe October of last year. And that's more of a demo style event than it is a festival. So everything there is based around demoing and riding bikes.
Oh, okay.
And of course, you go and you get the e-bikes and you ride until the battery's dead. You hand it back and you grab another bike. But it was, I think, 3 days of the festival. We were there for like a week and a half with the guys that I was there with, but the festival itself was 3 days.
Did you meet a lot of creators out there?
I met a few. On that trip specifically, I didn't get to meet her, but she was having dinner outside, Jess the Maker.
Yeah.
I saw her. We waved at each other. So if she ever sees this, that was me that waved to you. But obviously you can't go interrupt. Like she was there. I think it's her husband, fiance, I believe it's husband. They were having dinner. I'm not going to go interrupt their meal. Right. But I saw her. And then the last day, what's that?
I was going to be you ran up to her and be like, I create too.
I'm a creator.
These awkward moments.
Yeah. And then shoot, why am I drawing a blank?
I don't know.
Eric Porter. Yes. I met him the last day I was at the festival. So we missed the last day. We drove home on Sunday. Sunday was the last day of the festival. So we had a 13-hour ride home. So we had to leave first thing in the morning. Eric Porter was there with Seth's bike of Burn Peak. So like, man, of course, like the day we're not there, they're there. But I did get to meet Eric the day before. I talked to him for a good half hour. Those
guys, they always travel together. Funny enough, I wanted to bring up our first interview. It is Jess's birthday, and my wife does want to say, okay, but do they at least fight at Thanksgiving like normal families?
Us?
Yeah. Bring up politics, money, stuff like that.
I think we're all on the same page with all that stuff. So there's not much to argue about, really. But
she's being a goofball,
I like it.
When we first met, before we started the chat, because it was a Zoom thing, I remember asking, because you had a Burn Peak shirt on.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember this fondly. I said, oh, look at you supporting another creator. And you told me, I remember this, remember these moments in my chats, folks, before the chat, you said, once you dive into this, you're telling me, dude, once you start diving into this deep, you get hooked, and next thing you know, that's all you're wearing.
And you clearly understand that because you got swag from every creator out there.
I have my Adam Mock, my Mark Hill, the segment hat. I have more stickers than any 52-year-old man needs. My closet is full of shirts by supporting other content creators. So you couldn't have been more right when you said that. Mm-hmm. It was like, I'm just like constantly like, oh, I gotta buy this one now. They came on my show. I gotta, you getting that. It's just, you still like that? You still supporting?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. As best as I can. But to backpedal a minute.
Backpedal.
So you pulled out a memory from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it, man. So you clearly watch all of the videos of all the people that are in this chat that you talk to. Like, how do you have time to do all that? Like, you're clearly engaged with every person you talk to. You're not just, oh, I want to talk to this person to try and grow my channel, which, sorry, I'm not going to do that for you. But like, you're not trying to get a big guy on here and grow the channel. Like, you're clearly interested in the people that you involve yourself with and you communicate with. That's really cool. I don't know how you have the time to do that.
Well, first off, Calvin, this is my podcast, and I'll be doing the questioning.
There's actually just 6 people logged into your account watching and commenting.
No, what's funny is she says she has a slew of mountain bike T-shirts now, and she loves it because she takes them from me and uses them as sleeping shirts. I don't know if your wife does that.
Yeah, but all those were shirts that I outgrew and couldn't wear anymore. So.
I've just gained a lot of weight since I've last talked to you. Really have. But but to comment back to what you were saying or talked about what you're saying is I have people like you or Tumor Warrior or JT and stuff. I really do watch a lot of stuff, and I don't know how I have the time. Actually, I do know where I have the time. I have a lot of. I'm just looking to see if anybody from work is here. If it's slow, I'll just get on and start flipping through YouTube.
It's fair. You need a mental break sometimes.
Or I'm on the Instagram a lot now. I have, a bigger following, if you will, on the Instagram. Or people like Mountain Bike Rad Dad. I had him on. I during COVID, I became a fan of him. So yes, I'm an idiot. I watch a lot of videos, but I feel like I need to. There are people who have asked me to be on the show, and all of a sudden I'm that goofball looking at everything they do just so I can, I have something to talk about. Look at Adam. Hey, we've got somebody. Darn it. I just talked about working.
Oh, no, you did it.
Go get your bike dirty. Tone and Entertainment. If you guys like wrestling, he has a great wrestling podcast and channel where he should. But yes, he is my coworker. Don't tell our boss. So back to you. Let's focus on you. And I've asked you about this, and you said it's okay. You were creating, and all of a sudden it stopped. Do you mind talking about why it stopped?
Yeah. So for anyone who isn't familiar with the channel, I was making videos. My goal is to put out a video every week, and sometimes I had 2 videos a week come out.
You're crazy.
And I was sticking to that pretty good, but at the time, we were married, no kids, kind of had some extra time. Like, I was biking all the time anyway, so again, use the content. But we bought our house in 2021. Yes, bought our house in 2021. And then soon after that, our daughter was born. So we knew we were going to be taking some time just to kind of decompress from that and just enjoy that time as a family, like a new growing family. And then I would still get out content when I could, but it was definitely more intermittent.
Vipers and
it was more like 1 video a month, 1 every 6 weeks, something like that. I was still doing my best to stay engaged, but also I had other priorities that I wanted to focus on at the time. And then in summer of 2020, so my daughter was about 8 months old at the time, my wife was diagnosed with breast cancer, which obviously everything just stops at that point. Like, that's clearly the priority. This summer will be 2 years of her battling that. She's doing really good. At the time, we had no idea what this is going to look like. Like, the minute you get the call about the C word, you're like, oh, what? Yeah. Like, how? So to backpedal a bit, back in 2019, my wife found out that she had a hereditary gene mutation, BRCA1. I can't remember if she has 1 or 2. I should know this, but she has a BRCA gene mutation, which gives her a really elevated chance of developing breast cancer at some point in her life. So because of that, she was doing every 6 months, she was doing routine scans.
Okay.
And it's not until usually the age of 40 where they say, hey, you should consider having mastectomies now. Like, you're past, like, you're at that age, you're usually wrapping up growing your family, all that kind of stuff. So it's like you start looking into preventative
Yeah.
So, either way, my wife was 33, 32,
These are
33,
babies.
33, somewhere in there, young 30s, a couple of years ago. And again, she was doing every scans every couple of months. And they only found it because she was breastfeeding. So
Wow.
one of the scans that she was doing, they had to stop doing because she was breastfeeding, and the scan wouldn't show anything. So they switched over to doing an ultrasound or whatever. And after the fact, after they found the tumor and everything, what had happened was they showed us like what the scans would have shown if they continued what they were doing routinely. Like when you're younger, your breast tissue is dense. Everything just lights up white on the screen. Well, a tumor
Yeah.
lights up white, so you can't see it.
Yeah.
And it was literally a godsend, man. It, yeah, they found it because they switched the scans up because she was nursing our daughter.
Yeah.
So yeah, at around 6 months, my daughter was 6 months old at the time. I'm sorry, 8 to 10 months old. I'm terrible with calendar math.
It's okay. The time periods.
June, July of 2022. Yeah, we got the call that my wife had breast cancer, and at the time we thought it was, I don't want to say but we thought she was just going to have surgery and move on. And then soon after, once they did the surgery, they also removed some lymph nodes to just kind of check, like, see if this thing is spread or anything like that. And
Yeah.
sure enough, 4 of her lymph nodes had microscopic amounts of cancer in it, which at that point, routine is chemo, radiation, years of medication. So right now we're in the mix of, depending on what our future looks like, 5 to 10 years of medications and shots and all that. So we're in it for the long haul.
Oh, so you just got this baby.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden cancer.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on up there? Like, I mean, what stage of cancer was it when they caught it?
When they caught it, they thought it was, they basically call it like stage 1A. Like, they thought like, hey, it was the tiniest of tumor. And she was really fortunate in the sense that this cancer that she has is very receptive to the common forms of treatment that they do. Between having like receptors being positive and negative. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to pretend I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But at the time they said, hey, based on what we know from the biopsy and how small this tumor is, if it's just centrally located to this spot on your body, it's considered a stage 1A. Well, since it had lymph node involvement, that moves it up to a 3A, I believe is what they call it. So it's technically stage 3 cancer, breast cancer. So,
and again, baby cancer. How are you mentally and physically dealing with this? I mean, you've got new love of your life, new love of your life, and so much going on. Of course.
Yeah, obviously everything
YouTube goes away.
Yeah, everything stops. At that point, it's the house is on fire. What do we do to save it, kind of thing?
Yeah.
Everything stops. Like clearly, YouTube's doesn't exist anymore, right? I have a great job to where like I was allowed to just kind of step away and do what I needed to do, and then work in the nights and weekends, do whatever I had to do to care for my family, but also still keep my job and keep income coming in. Yeah. That's kind of important. But yeah, it was a lot to take in. We have a very good church family that we are very close with and have grown even more closer with throughout this whole process. Mm-hmm. I will say, as bad as it is to sound, something like this brings your family so close together. We became such a closer couple. We became so much closer with the Lord. We became so much closer with just our immediate family through this whole process that it's a shame that it takes something like that, but it did. Yeah. That's how we've came through this, at least. So, yeah, it was a lot to stomach.
I couldn't even begin.
A lot of weight on my shoulders. Very hard to see your wife go through something like that, or any significant other, your parents or your siblings or your child or anything like that. It's so hard. And like that morning we went to work like, wow, we're a young family. We have an 8-month-old daughter. Like life is great. And then 2:00 in the afternoon, my wife's calling me with the results from her biopsy. It's like everything just.
Oh, you can hear the brakes screeching. Oh man, folks, I know this is a mountain bike podcast thing, but he is a mountain bike creator, and I wanted to bring up why he stopped creating. One of my favorite creators stopped creating, and right below here, and if you don't mind, my wife says PSA for everyone: do an ultrasound, women mountain bikers or the mountain bikers that are listening, maybe your wife. Do an ultrasound with your mammogram. Insurance likely won't pay for it, but this is exactly why you need it. Mammogram isn't enough. So sorry you're going through this. So I guess there is more than just your normal mammogram. I'm a guy, I don't know anything about these things. I'm sure you probably know more than you'd like to know now.
Yeah, you kind of like rush through a high level of med school, going through everything and understanding what all the medications are for and what they're doing, what the side effects are, and what medications are being taken to combat other medications. And it's a lot, but yeah, I think the mammogram is the one that I don't want to speak out of terms here.
Okay.
I don't remember, but
okay.
Yeah.
So
mammogram was one of them in the rotation that she was doing.
So during this time, creating went to the side. Did riding as well go to the side?
Everything went to the side. So we live in Sanford, which is about 15 minutes from Midland. Yeah, little. I gotta figure out
the. He taught me that Michigan is the hand state.
Yeah, that was our thumbnail. Actually, we were like pointing at our hands over. Yeah, so we're middle of the mitten basically. Okay. So we're like 15 or so minutes from Midland, which is not a huge city, like it's 40,000 people or something like that. But we have a great hospital here. Given her circumstances, they referred us to a team down at Ann Arbor at U of M, University of Michigan, 2 hours from here. So all of our stuff was down there. So surgeries, oncology appointments, medications, like her team's down there. So all of these appointments, it's not just go to the hospital here in town for an appointment and go about your day afterwards. It's the whole day. It's 4 hours in the car and it's hours at the hospital, all that kind of stuff, which obviously glad to do it, right? Like I'm spending that time with my wife, but it's a lot of time committing to something like that.
And you, again, your family came together and helped out probably beyond belief.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
As if your family wasn't close enough.
Right.
They're all behind the camera right now.
Yeah, they're on this side. No, my mom's actually holding the camera right now. No, yeah, a lot of nights away with our daughter at grandparents' houses and stuff like that. Because it's, if you have an 8 a.m. appointment that's 2 hours away, daycare is not open at 5:30 in the morning. So that means something needs to happen with our daughter who can't come to these appointments. So it's usually going to the grandparents the night before and then us getting up at 5 in the morning to hit the road, and we're down there all day, and then we're home at 9 o'clock at night. We just like to pick our daughter up. So then she's at her grandparents again the next night, and it's a lot. You hear the whole thing like it takes a village, like literally.
Oof.
So one of the things that was important to us when we decided to start a family is being close to our family. So then she could have a relationship with my parents and Rachel's parents. And she has a really good relationship with both of them. She gets to see both of her grandparents a lot. But little did we know, like, this was going to come out. And I'm a firm believer that the Lord would provide no matter what. But I don't know what we would have did if we were in a different state. No idea.
Wow. If you were away from family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say different state because we contemplated moving out west early on when we got married. That's why I said out of state. We contemplated moving out west, but
it's heavy, man. Heavy. So for everyone who's listening right now or listening to whenever they're listening, how's your wife doing?
She's doing good.
Yes.
She's got beautiful curly hair coming back in. It's pretty long actually. Like she has to wear a headband now to kind of like pull it back out of her face and stuff, but she's doing good. She's in good shape. We went to Whistler last year, so she rode at Whistler
nice.
like a week after finishing radiation. Like it was chemo's done, radiation starts, and she was in radiation for, I can't remember the number of radiation cycles she had to go through, but it was every single day for, let's say, 6 weeks or something like that. And then a week later, she jumped on an airplane and rode at Whistler with us.
I'm done. Can we just go celebrate and do the A-line?
Yeah.
Dirt merchant.
It was cool. It was like that. The Whistler trip to me was so much more than just a Whistler trip, because we had been trying to go to Whistler for years, and COVID happened, and then borders were closed, and then we decided to start a family, and then cancer, and it's like, we're never going to Whistler, and we made it. We got there.
Yes. Zach says, woohoo. Yes, I'm so happy. She is, I'm not even putting quotes. Take the reverse those. She is cancer-free.
I think so. I think that's what they call it. Like, no one ever tells you, like, oh, you're cancer-free or you're in remission or whatever. But like, the belief is that they got all of the cancer through her surgeries. And then if there was a cancer cell lingering anywhere in her body, the thought is that chemo would get it, radiation would get it, and then all the medication that she's on now would starve it. So without getting too much into the weeds and how the treatment works and all that kind of stuff, like, her cancer is very susceptible to hormone therapy. So they could just remove all of your estrogen from your body, and that should, in theory, starve off the cancer. That's clearly very high level. I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't listen to me. But that's kind of how it's been dumbed down to explain to my little brain. Yeah. And so the thought is, like, with this medication, if there is a cancer cell somewhere still in her body, these medications would starve it. So it just would die off, essentially. So yeah, the thought is that she's cancer-free. Again, no one tells you that, like, but yeah, she's not actively trying to shrink a tumor or anything like that.
She's taking meds, but you're not driving 4 hours to hospitals and doing all that.
No, we are.
When you got that news, did you, and I'm horrible. I'm horrible at this. Cause it's so, I told you I'm in therapy. I'm learning to do better.
That's awesome.
But when you found out she was cancer free, yes, can we ride again? I don't want to take away from any of what you were going through and make light of anything, but were you like, celebrate? I know obviously she wanted to go to Whistler. That was one of her first things.
Yeah. So it was actually her idea. So we had been trying to go for a couple of years now. We had actually had flights booked and a Airbnb paid for in end of 2019 for a 2020 trip.
We talked about that.
Obviously, that didn't happen. And so I'm the one that kind of said, like, hey, it's now to the time where, like, we want to start a family. We can't afford both. And we want to, in order to start we were living in a tiny house at the time. So we couldn't start a family in that house. So it's like, let's do the adult thing here. Let's start a family. Let's buy a house. And then we can worry about Whistler later on. And so my brother-in-law and sister-in-law were talking about going, and they invited us. And I had said, like, guys, I appreciate it. Go without us. Go have fun. Like, it's not something we can stomach at the moment. We just don't have the time. We don't have the mental capacity to think about planning something like that. Like, we don't know. So many curveballs come up in the whole treatment process. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if they're going to change your timelines or if they're going to change your treatment plans, whatever it may be. And we said no originally. And then as the times went by and we were getting more of a clear-cut picture of what the rest of Rachel's treatment was going to look like, and at that point, she was like nearing the end of her chemo cycle. Like, that was the big thing. Like, if she was getting sick on chemo, they would delay it.
Yeah.
And if chemo gets delayed, that delays the radiation. And if the radiation gets delayed, it's a domino effect, right? So as we neared the end of her chemo cycles, we're like, radiation's like 6 weeks. There's not really a reason that would get delayed. So, and Rachel's like, we should go to Whistler. I'm like, are you sure you want to? Like, you just went through so much.
Oh my God.
And we went. It was great. She did really good. She was obviously not to her pre-mother and cancer treatment riding, because that's the other thing too. Like, she didn't just go through cancer treatment. She was also a new mother. She just gave birth and was keeping a toddler or an infant alive, right?
An
Like,
infant alive and dealing with cancer. I don't even know why I have you on the podcast.
yeah, bring her out.
Get her on. Four Handy Franny. Is that a
That's
family?
my mom. That's my mom.
Oh, Rachel's the strongest, most badass woman we know. I don't know. We're gonna get to you, Forehand Franny. Sorry, we're gonna get to you soon. My wife says, "So much respect for your strength and resilience and determination." Yeah, I mean, goodness, you went through being it. You're like, ah,
Yeah.
cancer.
Yeah. It's really hard to
Oh,
put to
like,
words.
I
kind
mean,
of
I
what goes
can't
through
even
your head.
put it. I have 2 dogs, dude. And I can't handle that. Hats off to you and your family for going through. And like you said, it takes a village
Mhm.
with the new baby and the dog.
Poor Rusty. He never gets brought up as much anymore.
He's on a sticker.
True. He is the logo.
No one else on the family has a sticker. At least my sticker has my goofy face on it.
You have a sweet logo, by the way.
Folks, ladies and gentlemen, I just got today a whole new batch. If you want my goofy face on something that you own,
Can I ask who you used to have your stickers made?
a sticky brand.
Sticky brand?
Sticky brand. And I get the matte, not the gloss.
Yeah, Matt's key. Matt everything.
My first were gloss, and then I went matte, and they're so much better. Sticky brand. It's like $25 for 100 of them.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I gotta get more. I have less than 10 total stickers left, so I gotta order some more.
Thanks for the logo. This guy, Adam Mott, created it for me.
Sweet.
He just I'll tell the story real quick, and we'll get back to you. Just because you said they were nice. Adam Mock, I've interviewed him. I've met him. He's a friend of mine now. He emailed me and said, check your, or texted me, check your email. And this logo was in the email.
No way. He just did it.
And I said, what? And he goes, I said, what do I owe you? And he goes, just keep doing what you're doing. I love what you're doing.
Sweet.
And then the next day he goes, check your email again. And this mountain bike stuff up here was, so he made my background. So that's how it came to be, sir.
That's cool.
Anywho, back to you, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Mitchell, Run Bike Mike.
Hey,
you know this kid, don't you?
I know Run Bike Mike. I know Mike.
You guys,
we haven't met in person, unfortunately.
Oh,
one day, Mike, I will ride your trails.
Don't you want to ride his backyard?
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
I will be in a neck brace or something after it. 'Cause he's got that little squirrel you jump onto.
Yeah, the last time I went to Bentonville, I messaged him because he's relatively close, and I messaged him like, "Hey, I'm gonna be coming through your neck of the woods. Like, can we meet up or whatever?" And he invited me to stop at his place and ride, actually. But I was with a whole caravan of dudes, so I'm not gonna derail our whole train to like, "Hey, can I go film over here for a little bit and meet one of my buddies online?" So I wasn't able to make it happen, but maybe next time.
No, he says, let's go. Do you keep up with watching his stuff?
Yeah, the best I can. He puts out so much content, so I can't watch them all, Mike. I'm sorry, but I do.
He keeps saying he has a family and all this. Nobody puts out as much content as him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kid with you, Mike. You know I love you. I've had him on a few times. Incredible, but what an incredible, and he skyrocketed.
He did.
As a content creator.
Yeah, clearly like a result of the effort he's putting in, because that doesn't just happen by luck or one video popping off. Like, you have to continuously put in the work like he does.
Yeah, he puts
grow like that.
Like you. I'm going to get your address again. I'm going to send you a bunch if your mom wants some stickers. That's great. Right. I will bring some stickers, Trail Pimp, to Sky Park this year. No, this goofy mug is not going to end up on a bill. Back to mountain biking with you and your family. Were you a bit hesitant at first? I mean, I know you said you're not 100%, but gosh darn it, she's the one who went through it all.
Mm.
give her the trip to Whistler, sir.
Yeah. Oh no, it was no question about like we're going. It was just what my worry was is I saw this in Bentonville too, because after our daughter was born, I can't remember how old she was at the time, but we went to Bentonville a couple months after she was born.
Mhm.
And my wife was not to her normal riding abilities just because she just delivered a baby, right? And I could see that it annoyed her is not the right word, but like she wanted to be able to do the jump she likes to do. And she hadn't been on a bike in 2 years or year and a half or whatever it was. And she knew that her comfort level on a bike wasn't where it used to be. And I could see that she didn't like it. Like drop the hammer, for example. That's probably a drop where if she was continuously riding like she was, she probably would have considered doing it. And it was beyond her wheelhouse at that point, just because she hadn't been on a bike in a while. And I could see that, like when we were hitting it, like she wished she could have been doing it. I was worried we were going to go all the way to Whistler, and that same thing was going to happen. I didn't want her to look at A-Line and be like, I wish I could ride this, but I can't. I came all the way out here. Now I'm bummed.
Yeah.
Thank God that was not the case. Like she killed it. She had a blast. But she also knew like that she had limits, and she knew that she was going to have to take breaks and maybe couldn't ride all day every single day like we typically would on a crazy trip like we would normally take and go ride for 9 days straight or something.
Yeah.
But she knew if she paced herself, she'd be able to do what she wanted to do. So that was my fear. My fear was not we're going to go there and whatever. My fear was that she was going to go there and think she was going to be able to do something she wanted to do and then realize that she couldn't and then be upset. And that was not the case.
I'm not dropping hammers. I've seen that, and it's out of my wheelhouse, folks. I don't care if you judge me or not. This old man does not like getting that high off the ground.
It's really scary at first. After you do it a time or two, it's not. It's so smooth, but it's scary.
Everybody says that. It's like literally you can just ride off it.
Yeah.
Mike is not dropping hammers either. You drop plenty of hammers, buddy. So when you got the go ahead to ride again, and she really like kid.
Yeah, Rach. I don't know if you're inside watching right now.
Rachel, a kid, cancer, even after just having a kid going, you know what? I haven't known this thing for that long. I'm going to leave it behind and go ride Bentonville.
We both said like, hey, it's hard leaving I'm going to make up an age 2 months old. It was somewhere in that range. It was hard, but we also needed it. Like we needed a break. We needed to do something fun.
You're like, I just had a baby for 2 months. I'm already whooped. We need to go have fun. You got at least 18 years with this kid. You're already worn out after 2 months.
No. No, it wasn't that. It was just wanted to do something fun.
Yeah, I get you. That's but Rachel, great going through cancer, and the first thing she wants to do, Whistler.
Yeah.
Again, fantastic. Well, you're a very lucky man.
I am very blessed.
So as a mountain bike content creator, you felt the need to share this and let your fans know. How hard was that for you to actually step back in front of the camera and get so personal with your personal life?
Yeah, it was hard. What you don't see in that video is that was like the 5th take because there's waterworks over here, man. But no, it was hard. One, I'm not good at talking to cameras. So if you watch any of my videos, they're usually like voiceover style content.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be in the video, but I'm not like talking to the camera like this. I do have a video coming out tomorrow though, where I do that. And it was really fun to film. But that was really one of the first videos where I just kind of sat down and talked. The first video where I sat down and talked to like the audience like that. So it was hard at first. And then like kind of as the video went on, you could see like maybe I loosened up a little bit more or something. But yeah. I wanted to share it. One, because like you get it. I don't want to say you develop a community, but like it is like the Shed comments on here a little bit. Like you've been watching since that New Jersey video. Like I don't know him, but I know him. He comments on every single video. So it's like you've developed these relationships with people that you don't know through a comment section, watching your videos and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not that I owe them an explanation, but it's like I want them to know what we had going on. I want people to know what struggles we have. I want people to be praying for us. I want people to understand, like, hey, I didn't just fall off the face of the planet. Like, I want to be making content, but we have a bigger priority at the moment that we're going to focus on. I didn't forget about you guys. I'll be back in the future.
Yeah.
So it was hard to make that video, but it wasn't hard to make the decision to make the video, if that makes sense. Like, I knew I wanted to make it.
I mean, because you're a content creator. You, like you said, you have these fans or supporters or people that you've grown to know, and they've grown to know you. And then you had to step away because your wife had cancer, and you felt the need to let them know, like, I'm going to be back.
Yeah. And it was,
I'm not going, but I'm going through something.
Yeah. Something else that was cool that came of that too is, there was a couple people who had reached out to me after that, who had been, whether it be a subscriber, follower, whatever you want to call them, someone who had watched my content for a while, who unfortunately went through a similar situation.
Yeah.
So I was able to better relate to people like that, have the conversation. And like one of the couples actually met in person at an event we put on here in Midland, we being an organization I'm part of. But I met the husband and wife in person. It's like, this is what it looks like on the other side, right? Like when I made that video, we were early in the stages of everything. We didn't know what everything was going to look like. And it's like, here is a direct result of someone who went through this, and they're standing right in front of me at a mountain bike event, mountain biking.
Wow.
It was cool. So definitely cultivated and built better relationships from just sharing that story too.
I'm moved. I'm really moved by your story with that. How did she feel about you coming out with her personal struggle and battle with cancer? Was she like, do it?
Asking her if I could share that was harder than me sharing it. I will say that. Because being that we put videos online, like we are private people, like we don't share our lives on all the other social medias. Like we basically don't have like a personal social media presence for like friends and family to see, really. But she pretty much said what I had just said. Like the more people who know and who could be praying for us to get through this, the better. So if you feel like you want to post this on YouTube, do it. Yeah. And like, obviously I know there's borders on what you can and can't say. And like, again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to share medical advice or anything like that.
Yeah, but you're just letting us know your struggle.
Yeah, and you put up a video, and so okay with it, unless she lied to me, but she told me she was down with it. So,
I mean, I had replied back after I watched your video, and it's one of those, like, I watch all your stuff, but I'm like, okay, he's been gone. I'll click on, see if you got something new, or look at your, and then I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
But your supporters will always be your supporters. I don't see people going, well, Calvin hasn't put out a video in a month.
You know,
unsubscribe.
It's so funny that you say that, because some people do. I get that. Like I get some people like, I'm only going to subscribe to someone if they're putting out content. That's what I'm here for. But I've talked about that with my brother-in-law before, and he said that, where he's like, I've never once been like, that person hasn't put out a video, I'm going to go unsubscribe. Like it's not a thought we really have. So, yeah,
you just subscribe. And again, forehand Franny, if you're on subscribe. Yeah, he's a small YouTube channel super fan. Thanks for loving your fans. Medi says, it is good to respond to people and be nice to them when you see them in person. I don't know if I'd let you go if I met you in person.
One of these times they'll be down in Florida. We'll meet up.
Oh, it'll be a slow, gentle.
Can we do it on the beach?
I've lost some big
running down at sunset.
Dun, 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 dun.
No, I was on the fence about asking my wife if I could pay to have my bike luggage, like take my bike on the trip and then drive up, because How far are you from Tampa? I think you're a couple hours away,
I'm
aren't you?
4 hours away.
4 hours. Oh,
Yeah, a little over 4 hours, maybe. Yeah,
so
it's a
I
drive.
did some looking on Trail Forks to see like what kind of trails are even in the area. Is it worth taking a bike?
Alafaya is an incredible, and you'd be only like 45 minutes from Alafaya if you're in Tampa.
Okay.
And I have a friend that lives in Sarasota. We go and visit, and I've ridden Alafaya and Bomboyette and stuff like that. So back to mountain biking. That's what people like. That's the title of the thing. So your wife wants to go mountain biking in Whistler. Is that when you decided to strap on the GoPro again and be a creator? Or go back to creating?
Obviously, I was going to document that whole process, right? Like, obviously.
You're like, it's been so long.
I can't remember the series of videos that came out before or after that. I can't remember if that was like, I'm back to making content again, or yeah, you tell me. Pull it up right here.
We can refresh it. Look at it's the bright yellow and blue that gets me. And I hate the fact. I got to tell you, this is upsetting me that there isn't that little red line that shows that I've watched every single one of your videos.
I know you have because you comment very early on too, which appreciate it. Thank you.
But I think I actually started watching you before I was a subscriber to anybody. Before I became a creator.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know you hit the subscribe
I wouldn't
button.
log in.
Yeah.
Where are we at? Oh, it's been a minute. Look, you even grew after it's been a minute.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think I hit 5,000 last week. I think I'm close to 5.2 now.
Look, it's not good. Where are you guys? Where are you guys in
it's the bear one. So that was you
guys did see a bear. I did watch that one.
Yeah. So if you go up a touch and then to the right where it says bear.
Yes, I watched this one too. Why does it show I didn't watch it?
I believe you, man.
Yeah, that bear was crazy.
Yeah. So that was what? That was 6 months ago. So then the last video before that was 11 months ago, and that was a video. That was the drop the hammer where I ran into. I'm drawing a blank on his name.
I can do it. I can do it.
Oh
no, it's
not gonna hit me.
Come on, he's a Benville guy.
He is. He's
I can do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. It's a saga. MTB. Why am I blanking? Because I'm just focused on
either way. It's beyond the scope of this conversation. Yeah, that was like 11 months. That said 11 months ago, so it was probably a 5 or 6 month break between those. So yeah, I think there was actually a point where I went almost a year without a video.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah,
man,
and that was also right in that mix. So there was some videos that came out
1 year.
Yeah, there was some videos that came up between Rachel being diagnosed with cancer and me sharing that. So
it's gonna bother me now. I know who you're talking about. Evan?
No.
MTV Saga? Oh, that's gonna kill me. Ladies and gentlemen.
It's the guy that designed the drop the hammer drop. He's the one that towed us in and helped me hit it for the first time.
Never mind then. I wouldn't know.
He's not a content creator. He's one of the masterminds that made Bentonville what it is today.
Oh, okay. I can't go without saying, what's up, mountain bike nerds? Marty, all the way from New Zealand.
Oh, that's sweet.
Watching you. He's at the Crankworks. I saw that, brother. I saw your video on the Instagram. Crankworks at Rotorua is going off. You got Finland. You got New Zealand, brother.
We're international.
We're international right now. How crazy is it?
On your channel.
Stop it. They're here for you, mister. Were you excited about being able to going back to creating again?
Yeah. I think I said in that video where it's like it's been a minute video, like pretty much every day I'm checking like my analytics, I'm commenting, like responding to comments that come up because like comments still come in from like old videos that are still getting views or something like that. But I'm still doing what I want to do, just not getting able to make content. So like even if I put it up and no one watched it, like I enjoy making the videos. It's a creative
Yeah.
process that I enjoy. So yeah, it's really nice to get back to making videos again. I've been on a pretty solid routine for the last couple months. I think I've gotten a video out every 2 weeks for the last couple months now. And I think that's where it's gonna fall for at least right now, a video every other week. I'd
Yeah.
love to be every other week, but I'm not willing to sacrifice the time with my family that it takes to get out a video that frequently. So there's only so
Yeah.
much time in a day. And yeah.
I feel you. This is a hobby.
Mhm.
This
Yeah.
is fun. I do this every 2 weeks. I'll do a little reel or a short, a goofy thing every now and then. I'm not at the level of, say, You're Just the Maker or Colorado Kid. I don't. It's just one. If I have that moment, like I've got all these. I have so many ideas, but it's work, wife, living life, doing things. This is fun, and I like how you. It's almost like this put it in perspective for you. It's
Mhm. Yeah, when something like that comes up, you definitely realize where things need to be prioritized. I mean, it changes now that we've gotten past like the toughest parts of like Rachel's treatment and all that kind of stuff. But even now, like even if things were smooth sailing now, I still have a daughter and a wife that I want to spend time with. So
yeah,
it's not
more
like,
than
all right,
ever.
work's done, create content till 9 p.m. Everyone's asleep, go to bed, do it again. Like I would love to dedicate a lot more time to doing YouTube videos, but again, it's at the expense of sacrificing time with my family or riding my bike or whatever it may be. And some things I'm not willing to sacrifice.
Yeah, I would love to quit my job tomorrow and
Yeah.
literally. I mean, I really enjoy doing this, and I think I
Yeah.
could almost get 480 subscribers if I did this full time. I'm not kidding. I really think I could get maybe 10 more uh, followers on Instagram. Instagram, the algorithm. I don't know about you, but I have more fun on it. I mean, I don't have more fun, if you will, but I get more engagement.
Yeah.
Like the numbers. I can't get enough of these kids in the peanut gallery, though.
It's not apples to apples though. Like there's
Yeah,
clearly a different algorithm. It's a 10-second video versus a 10-minute video, that kind of thing.
yeah,
Yeah, you're just by default, you're gonna get more engagement on one platform versus the other.
yeah. I mean, I really love this platform for being able to meet people like you and to talk to Marty and Medi and Mike and Monster and Forehand Franny. Like this is like I don't know about you when you look at this stuff, but or look at your comments and stuff. When you look at it, and you go, there they are again.
Mm,
Or like you talked about it, like when you were doing your It's Been a Minute video.
yeah.
Like you wanted to engage with those people. You engage with these people, and you become part of this community.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've had this happen or not yet, but when you get noticed in public, like at a trail or something, it's bizarre. Like on some puny little channel on YouTube and you see my videos, that's weird, but thank you. That's super cool. But it's very bizarre.
Yeah, I don't. That hasn't happened.
What I do love is like somehow local people find my channel too. I don't make a ton of videos on my local trails because they're XC trails. And you can only post about that stuff so much. Um, so there's been a few people like where I'll say like, oh, I'm from Sanford or something, and someone will come like, whoa, I'm in Coleman. Like, cool. Like
Yeah.
10 minutes from here.
So
Fun.
you're creating now, and
Yeah.
you're enjoying it. Have you? I got to ask you this: Are you? I think you were doing it on your iPad or something at one point.
So when I first started, I hit 1,000 subscribers by only doing editing on my phone. I said if I hit 1,000 subscribers, then I'll be willing to commit to buying a laptop. And because at the time I didn't have any computer for at home.
That's what we're on now.
Yeah, and at the time, like I'm not gonna put money into this until I know that one, I enjoy it, and two, like does it do something right? Like does someone actually want to watch these things, or am I just going to spend money on a computer to edit something for no reason or whatever? So I'm like, if I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'll buy a computer. And I did, but I still did all my thumbnails and stuff on my phone through like a handful of apps. I still haven't pulled the trigger on getting Photoshop. So I still do most of my thumbnails through my phone,
Don't need it.
using like Canva and some of these other things. But
Oh, I totally still use Canva.
Canva's
Canva's great.
and I use the free version too because
Oh,
I haven't shelled the money for the premium version yet.
I pay. I got that's how I cut your face out on that one, right? Hold on, back up. That thumbnail. I stole that picture because I couldn't find it. Yeah, I stole that one.
Yeah, yep.
But you were what were you editing on back? Are you editing on anything fancy now, or
I use DaVinci?
Okay, that's do you use the free version?
I do, yeah.
I heard it's incredible. I heard it's one of the best free editing.
Yeah, I use it because it's free was the main thing. And the other thing was if I were to ever upgrade to the premium, which I am never going to need the premium. Like the amount of power that software has is beyond the scope of whatever you're going to see on my channel.
Yeah.
And even if I did shell out the money for the premium version, it's a one-time cost. I don't want to get into the whole pay $30 a month or $10 a month or whatever. Then it's like an indefinite. Next thing you know, you spent way more money than what you should have on an editing platform or something. I should have, but yeah. So I use DaVinci Resolve. I've never once had an issue with it. Early on, I had some issues with it crashing, but that was like 2 years ago or something.
Folks, if you're just tuning in and you're shy of starting to become a creator or whatever, he deals in finances. So he's good with money, one. Two, everything's free, and he's simply one of, I'm sorry, I'm blowing smoke up or sunshine up your butt, but like your content is so good and you do it all for free.
Yeah. Another app I did start using recently, which it's my understanding that it's basically a online version of Photoshop. It's called like Photo P or something like that. I've been using that for a couple things lately just to try it out, but I'm not good at it. Like I'm much better just do what I need to do in this app, download it, export it, upload it to this app, do it over here, and then switch over here and add the text, and then add the whatever over here. And like next thing you know, it's been exported from 5 apps 17 times to get the thumbnail I want. But
oh my gosh,
it's the workflow I know. So
I want to
really like one application like Photoshop or something would be the efficient way to go, but I don't know how to use it. So
I want to steal a lot of your ideas, but I'm not going to. They're yours. I use CapCut.
Okay.
To edit my reels.
I've heard someone talk about that before. My brother does a lot of disc golf content on Instagram.
What?
And he maybe has mentioned that before because that app sounds familiar.
Just for like your 30, 40 seconds stuff. Forehand Franny, you're driving me nuts. We're going to get to you right now. You start creating and you put out some stuff, and I want to get to A-Spike Media too. Those kids. You've done some collabs. Forehand Franny. I'm guessing her name is Francis. No,
it's a nickname. It's a nickname my dad gave her. So again, my mom, we all grew up biking. My mom would like go to, like my mom does like a lot of endurance rides and marathons and all that kind of stuff. And she would go for a bike ride and she'd like put on her full like roadie kit or something like that. And my dad's like, you look like you're going on the Tour de France or something, like giving her a hard time. So that somehow evolved into Franny as a nickname. So Forehand Franny is her disc golf, like how mine's the Shred Shed. Forehand Franny.
Forehand Franny. You did 100 miles, and this is upsetting me. Look at that red line right there, where I watched that whole thing.
Yeah, it does that weird. Like I know what you mean.
I watched it while driving home from work because I was stuck in traffic. And I had you up on the dashboard. Where I live, I can sit there for 10 minutes, like literally moving. So I put it, you did 100 miles with your mom.
100 7 or 8.
Yeah.
I'm not going to short sell. Those last 7 or 8 miles sucked. But yeah,
It's like a marathon. The 26 miles is easy. It's the point two that's the toughest.
she had did a century before I hadn't. The longest I had did was like, I think 64 miles, I believe was the longest I had did prior to that. And it was like a year and a half before that ride. Before that year, I'd only did like a 40-mile ride. So it was definitely a push for me, but it was fun.
Was it fun to create with your mom?
Yeah.
She wasn't like, oh, you're not bringing that camera, are you?
No. Because like I said, my brother does a lot of stuff with disc golf, and they disc golf with my brother. So they're always in videos and stuff, whether it be me or my brothers or my other brother doing fly fishing stuff. And yeah, they're always making cameos.
That's a fun video, folks. If you ever want to just watch people get lost while riding 100 miles, you did get lost. You started going the wrong direction.
Yeah. Luckily we didn't go way out of the way, but yeah, we didn't know what we were doing. Like we've never did like a point, at least I've never did a point to point like this. We wanted to get from where I live to this lighthouse in Ludington.
100 miles away.
Yeah, by car it's like 98 miles or something like that. And like, okay, you just start in a different spot then. But on Google Maps or whatever, you can switch, like you can select biking, like a cycle route, and it will take you on any path. And one of the paths that wanted to take us on was like these, not even a forest road, like a fire road through the middle of like, so if you're not super familiar with Michigan, southern Michigan is very dense with cities, lots of people. You get north of like where I live and it's woods for hours, like just nothing but woods.
So it all looks the same.
Yeah, and it's flat, so there's no like points on the horizon you can look to if you're lost. But if that part of the state is just a lot of wood, so like, oh, you want to avoid main roads? Okay, take this forest fire road through the middle of this woods in the middle of the state. Like, yeah, we weren't willing to do that. We were not going to, like, if we got a flat or if we got lost, like there's no cell service out there, like we're not looking for that kind of adventure. So we weren't willing to do that. So what my mom did is she found a path where it, like, she used Google Maps for most of it, and then she's like, all right, we'll jump off here and we'll go south and then we'll connect over here. And then so she wrote down on like a cheat sheet kind of thing what our path would have been. And we just overlooked something and we went left when we should have went straight. And it was funny. Like, I can't remember if I put it in the video or not, but we got to this spot where it split off at a Y.
You did.
Beautiful, long, flowing downhill. And we're like, oh, we hope we don't have to go up to the left. Well, we went left when we shouldn't have. Like, we thought that's the turn we had to take. We pedaled up this hill instead of going down this awesome, like, long, fast downhill. There's no cars anywhere. And yeah, so we went up when we shouldn't have. And then we went, I don't know, maybe a couple miles out of the way. It's not terrible, but it was definitely like a kick to the morale.
You did it, though.
Yeah, we did it.
Glorious moment. And you collab with your mom. You're back creating it. You collab with your mom. And then you get with Andy and Colin.
Yeah.
From Ace Bike Media.
Mm.
We got to pay the bills.
Yeah.
He gets
this like an infinite money glitch. We're making content while watching content that's serving us ads.
This was so great for me because I was fortunate enough to have both Andy and Colin from Ace Bike Media on my channel. Mm-hmm. And to see that thumbnail right there brought so much joy to me. And wait a minute. And that.
Yeah. Yeah, you were in the video too.
The fact that they put me in their video, they at least got one viewer. I wasn't even expecting that.
Yeah.
And to see you guys, talk to me how this collab got to come to be.
So a long time ago, back when we were even smaller than we are now, so there's two people doing a lot for the mountain bike content realm. You are one of them. You've developed a really cool community of people. And then Run Bike Mike did something really cool years back. He, I think he did like shout outs in his videos or something. I can't remember how it all stemmed, but he ended up creating like a group chat of a handful of small creators that we were all around like 500 to 1,000 subscribers at the time. of like, we can just bounce ideas off each other. Like, hey, what do you guys think of this thumbnail kind of thing? And Ace Bike Media was in that group chat. And I'm like, oh, you guys are just across the pond over in Wisconsin. And I got to know Andy and Colin pretty well just from watching video. Like, just like you get to know everybody really well through watching videos, right?
Yeah.
And I had a lot in common with both of them, especially Colin. Like, him and I have a lot in common. Like, we both have German Shepherds. We're both musicians. We both ride mountain bikes. We both have families, like all this kind of stuff. And so for a while, we had been talking about meeting up to ride. And Marquette's kind of like a central point for us, even though it's in Michigan. Like, it's basically a 4 to 5 hour drive for each of us. It's just kind of up and meeting above the lake.
Yeah.
And actually, in your interview with them, when they were on your show, Colin's like, oh, I was supposed to go camping with Kelvin this weekend, but he backed out at the last minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, we'd been trying to plan a trip for a while, and it was never working out. And then we found a weekend that worked, and I told Rachel, like, hey, I'm going to go camp with these dudes that I've never met before. I know from the internet. I'm going to do what they tell you not to do. I'm going to go meet strangers online.
Banjos are playing in the background.
But it was so much fun, man. Like, riding with them, it was like we'd never met before. We'd never talked other than like comments on videos or like DMs on Instagram or something. And like, it felt like I've known them for a long time.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. Like, I was just texting Colin yesterday, I think it was. He asked like if I'm heading up to Marquette anytime soon. So
isn't that weird?
Well, I hope we get at least one ride in together this year, maybe more. But
we're great guys, great riders.
mm-hmm.
Andy's incredible trail builder.
What's annoying is like
Dusty Dutchman over in Wisconsin. You got to get to ride with JT.
Dusty Dutchman, you did a video with Colin before, right? I think.
Answer. Quit doing electrical work in your basement and answer. No, I'm kidding. I don't think I could ride with any of you guys. I just talk mountain biking. You guys are so good.
What's annoying is like Colin's like, as the crow flies, like an hour and a half, 2 hours from me. But if I wanted to go to his house, it'd be a 10-hour drive because I have to go all the way up around the Great Lake and down to him, or take the ferry, which not gonna do that.
Oh yeah, he says they're buds.
Sweet. Yeah, I think he was on one of the.
I got to look at that one. I had no idea.
I think he was on one of the early Cycle Pass episodes, right, Dusty? I think.
Wow, I think I've watched all of those. Come on, man. You know what's funny? I'm taking up so much of your time.
No.
What we're talking about, like you're going camping with some dudes you met on the internet.
No.
Hey, honey, I'm going to go camp with some dudes I met on the internet. No, the one in Milwaukee.
Mm.
Oh, I got to go watch that one now. That's what I'm going to do tomorrow during lunch. But isn't it funny when like everyone's 2D right now,
mm.
and then you meet them in person? Oh, how weird was that?
So something I learned with riding with Colin and Andy is you've heard of the term GoPro effect. Like, everything looks smaller, more flat, not as steep. Jumps are smaller or whatever. The same can be said about riding abilities. Like, I knew that they were good riders, but until you see someone ride in person, like, I don't know how to word what I'm trying to say. Like,
I get it.
YouTube doesn't do justice how good of a rider someone really is. Yeah.
See that, folks? GoPro is making me less of a rider. No, but to bounce off of that is when you do meet that person and you're like, son of a.
Yeah.
Is that where you were going? You were like, man, they're good.
Yeah, they're both very good riders, and I knew they were good riders from their videos. But it's like when you ride with them in person, it's like, holy smokes, that's a big jump. I'm supposed to get towed into this.
Yeah, I actually rode with. I've ridden with a lot, but a buddy that I've made through this little thing that I do, Brian Peterson, a.k.a. Brian on a bike. I was like, wait up. It's so funny when you ride with other creators. And I was doing the 2D effect thing. Is went to LA or California, and it was just so exciting.
Mhm.
It was like, I've met you all, but
Yeah.
you were all flat on a screen. And then you meet them. And again, riding with them again, I'm Florida boy, flatland. And then I go out there and it's all downhill. I'm like, I'll see
Mhm.
you guys in a little bit. But just have fun on the bike. And that is it. Exactly. But the video you guys made was so good. Did the friendship get stronger from that?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, like we text pretty frequently, and like I said, we're trying to get more trips planned for this year too. So
with the wife?
that'd be fun. Yeah, we talked about doing like a cycle pass where it's like the whole families are involved or something. Because like the dad mobiles, as we call them, the gravel bikes with the kid carts in tow. It's easy to haul families along with the kid carriers on the back. On a gravel bike, much easier than a mountain bike.
Yeah. You bring that up, the cycle pass that they did with you. So there's dead people over behind that wall.
Thought he was pulling my leg the whole time. But no, I looked it up, and sure enough, like there's bodies.
Just
Why?
bodies. Folks, if you are listening on Instagram and Spotify, or not Instagram, on iTunes and Spotify, I have brought up his YouTube page. I keep forgetting to do this because it's not just it's video for us, but it's audio on there. He rides with Ace Bike Media, Andy and Colin. But on their channel, it's a psychopath thing where they go and do a history of trails, and you've got to watch it. He just stops you and goes, by the way, there's a bunch of dead bodies. And I like how you got dead bodies. They're just bodies. Just say bodies buried over there. It's like some weird. What was it? It was like some weird cemetery, or oh no, it was the medical.
Yeah, it's like I don't know what the word is, but like they study the way the bodies decompose based on the environment these bodies are in. I don't know.
Oh, I do want to bring this up. I know you got. He's already. He's like, I got to find my escape.
No, I was looking because I had a lamp on behind me, and I think the light bulb died.
I'm kidding.
It's not lit up anymore.
Products. You've gotten to the point where products are coming to you,
which is fun.
After being away for so long.
So I was fortunate to have one of my videos that I made before going away blow up while I was away. And I say blow up, it's relative to my channel size, right? Like I think it's at 250,000 views or something like that right now. It's going to be like the DIY 5DI if you go up a little bit.
Oh.
On the right side, stop doing this. 5 DIY storage options.
Yeah.
250,000 views. That popped off while I was on my hiatus. So
I love that one. You had all those different ways to park your bike, and
yeah, it was a fun one to make, and I'm glad it did good because that's the style of video I like to make. Like what you don't want to have happen, at least what I don't want to have happen, is I make a video that it's like, oh, it's not the style of video I want to make, and then it pops off, and then all these people come to your channel and say, oh, that's the video I'm here to watch. Or like that's the style of content I'm here to watch. But I don't want to make that. But then you feel like you have to make that video because that's what they're here for. And they unsubscribe, and it's that cycle, right?
It's unsubscribing.
That video is the exact type of video I like to make, like garage content, just fumbling around in the workshop or whatever. And like then I can be more creative with the editing styles in those videos too. And that's what I really enjoy doing. Like at least I can't do that style of editing in a riding video. But like I can plan a camera shot like where I walk past and then it's some funky transition or something like that. That's the content I really like to make. So I'm glad that video did well for me on my channel.
You're so, and I said this the first time we interviewed, you're so good at leaving those little Easter eggs, if they call them that.
Yeah.
And this is why I fell in love with your content and how you can be creative. You can't do that with a riding video.
I'm sure there's people out there who can. I can't. I don't have the editing ability to do that kind of editing in a riding video. It needs to be planned camera angles and stuff for me to do something like that.
Storage products you did, and I don't know even where to pull. Well, yeah, right here.
Mm-hmm.
There you are, and there you are.
That was fun, like handing myself something.
You do those little split screens. I remember the first time we interviewed you, there was a mirror in front of you. We see your back and we see your face in the mirror, and then you walk away, but your face is still in the mirror, and you're like, oh, and you got to catch up to yourself.
Which, by the way, is one of my biggest fears. Like to look in the mirror and something different happens. Like that's one of my biggest fears.
I was going to say, do you have anybody that you are sponsored by that you would like to bring up? I don't want to take up too much more of your time.
No, let's do this all night, man. This is my time. This is what I'm doing tonight.
Okay, what I'm telling you is, no, I'm just kidding. but again, are you sponsored by somebody, or do you want to plug somebody?
No official sponsors.
Okay, well then don't bring them up.
I did have a few things in the works for this year, but I think they're probably going to fall through just through differences we had or whatever. So nothing official. I am affiliated with a couple companies, like affiliate links, not like part of the company or anything like that. But yeah, like Alt Angle, for example. I am an affiliate of theirs. So they were gracious enough to send over their products for that video that we were just watching here a minute ago. So they're one of the companies that I'm affiliated with.
I've thought about getting one of those. I don't have any bike stand. I do everything at the bike shop.
Okay.
I support my local. I just
wait.
My derailleur bust. I've only had the bike for a little over a year, maybe. And I love the bike shop. Looked at it and go, well, you know, the new SRAM GX, I can get it for you for under $1,000. And I said, can you fix that one?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to name the bike shop because I'll probably end up going there again. And they do good work, but I bought a new one. I didn't get I don't need electronic shifting. Yeah. If you have that, good for you. I don't need it. I'm very cheap. I always joke that I'm the cheapest mountain biker out there. This works. I don't need it.
Mm.
You still on the Common Saw?
Yep. Still on my Clash.
Mental Common Cal.
So we stopped into so Common Soul is Common Sal. However you pronounce it. They only have a couple like physical locations because they're a direct to consumer. One of their locations is a bike shop in Squamish that we went to when we were out in Whistler. And we like my brother-in-law and I asked, like, how do you actually pronounce this? And they said, like, it's Common Sal, which they like, it's an accent. I don't have it. So like, I'm never going to be able to say it right. But
Common Sal. I said Common Soul.
I've always said Common Soul.
Okay. Trail. You love your wireless shit. I don't like it. If one, I'm cheap, very expensive just to shift. And I'm not bashing you. If you can afford it, great, go get it. I love these. I'm about to do a review on my bike rack. It's an Amazon $150 bike rack, and it's fabulous.
Sweet.
I know everybody has your fancy $1,000. Can I afford $1,000 one? Do I want to? No. Yeah. But I had problems. I rode out in Connecticut, and I was borrowing someone's medium bike, 6'1", 235 pounds. I'm on a medium bike. Electronic shifting. Well, my top, if you will, my top button, I shift down. So instinctively, I was going over like a 6-7 foot boulder. And as I was going up, I hit up.
Yeah.
And I went over and fell. And it was like, son of a. So I don't know if you have electronic shifting.
I don't. I used it a bunch when I was in Bentonville for Outer Bike. So one of the cool things about Outer Bike, and it's like I was saying, it's a demo focused event, is all the bike companies bring their best of the best. So you're not going to get on something with like a budget fork or a budget drivetrain or whatever. Like it's going to be the highest end stuff that they have to offer. Yeah. They want you to be impressed with their bikes. So every bike that I demoed had some of them had like the new transmission. Some of them had like the Shimano equivalents of the electronic shifting. Some of them had auto shifting, not for me. Not to say that it's
I'm not even up for like auto driving. These people that let their cars drive themselves. I'm like, nope, not
so.
for me.
I left outer bike thinking I did not like electronic shifting. It seemed like you hit a button and then you had to wait for it to shift. And like I smash through gears. Like I'll go from gear 1 to 9 like that. I don't care if it's destroying something. It's what I do. If I need to get into gear, I want to get into it. With the electronic shifting, it was like, do shift, do shift. I'm like, by the time I get to the gear I wanted to be in, I was ready to be in a hard gear to go down the hill again. So I learned through talking to people afterwards that you can program them to do what you want to do. So like you can program to like double click means shift 3 times or long click means whatever. You obviously can't program a shifter when you're riding a demo bike for an hour. So I think if I had one and I had the time to set it up how I actually would want it for myself, I would probably have different thoughts on it. But the experience I had with all of them was it's cool. It's just not for me. So I'm also terrible at charging batteries. So it's not,
That's another thing. I've known people I've seen videos of people go way up somewhere and then the battery's dead and they forgot to bring a second one.
Yeah.
And now they're messed up. Monster says you can change them to either top or bottom. Yeah, I guess you can program whatever you want.
Mm-hmm. But one thing I do really like about it is like how you hear people saying like you can index each gear individually and all that kind of stuff. You can just have flawless shifting, which is cool.
Yeah, I flawlessly shift. What are your plans forward now that you've been?
Yeah,
your baby's 2.5.
Yep, 2.5.
Take care of itself now. Your wife is cancer free.
Yeah.
What are your plans?
No worries in the world.
Yeah, no worries in the world. What are your plans for your channel now? I mean, what do you got going on? Do you have things already in the mix? Do you have a marker board?
No marker boards.
I do.
Do you really?
Yeah, I have a marker board and I haven't done any of it. There's not one cross out on any of it.
So being in the finance world, I'm huge in Excel. So I have an Excel sheet of a list of all my like my video ideas I have, but I also have a huge backlog of content from trips that we went on and rides that I did while I was on my content creating hiatus. Really? So even though I wasn't making videos, like I'd still try and sneak out for a ride or go to a local downhill park or something like that on a weekend or whatever. The video I put out that's actually publishing tomorrow morning, it's from 2 years ago, but I have a ton of backlog of content that I need to use. So
it's content.
Yeah, exactly. So I do have some things that I want to do this year that haven't happened yet, obviously, like trips and projects and stuff like that. But I'd say the more immediate future, it's going to be, I have a week and a half of a trip in Bentonville that nobody's seen yet from October of last year. So like a ton of content that's got to come out on that. And we rode some really fun trails outside of the immediate Bentonville area that I've never seen content on. So I'm excited to share that. And that's not to say it's not out there. I never saw a video on it before we went there. Is what I'm getting at. There's definitely videos that exist on these trails. But
you gotta come on, man. What have you been doing?
I know. Just nothing.
I think that's great. Can we see you? Are you going to be at Bentonville Bike Fest this year?
No, I won't. I talked about it. With Colin from Ace Bike about getting out there, but I wasn't able to make it happen this year. It's coming up, isn't it? It's in a few weeks. Or is it? No, maybe not. Sorry. Don't mean to scare you. I thought it was.
I don't know. I haven't made plans. I'm so bad at planning.
I'm probably very wrong. It can't be in a few weeks already because it's only March, but
yeah, I know. I miss Sedona Mountain Bike Fest. I know I got to be honest with you. I watch those videos. Have you been to Sedona?
I have not. No, it's on the list for.
I live in Florida.
That's how Michigan is too.
It is
same topography, different shape of a state. That's all.
Yeah, I'm watching the segment and all these other people, and there's a lot of climbing. I don't know if my lungs, I got to spend a lot of time on the Peloton before I go to these places. Now, I'll go out to California this July for a Sky Park, Adam Mock's Ride and Shine event. They get me an e-bike. I got an e-bike there.
Yeah.
I got the decoy, the YT decoy. What a fantastic
I
invention.
love that bike. That's a fun one. I rode that in at Outer Bike.
First time we talked, I had, it was right after COVID. Well, it was a little bit after COVID, but after COVID, I had finally found a bike. I was riding a hardtail Rockhopper Shimano. Since then, I have upgraded to the YT Izzo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, YTs are sick, man. I like them a lot.
They're really nice bikes. They're priced right as well.
Mm-hmm.
I love the price. I was looking at your bike though. I was teetering on the Common Thal.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of my bike. I
like the price too. Again,
Yeah.
I'm a very cheap person.
Which
frugal.
Yeah, you got to be, man. Why overspend on something if you don't need to? I mean,
I didn't want to overbike.
I am more than overbiked. Like I said, everything around here is local. All my local stuff's XC. I have a 180 enduro bike that I pedal. It weighs 41 pounds or something like that. Like, it's the worst bike possible for all my local trails, but I use it for everything. I took it to Whistler. I take it to Bentonville. I take it to local downhill parks, Copper Harbor, Marquette. Wherever we go, it can handle whatever I'm going to be riding on.
Yeah.
So,
I'd
rather be overbiked for the stuff I don't want to ride and have a bike suitable for what I like to ride.
I'm gonna hate myself right now. I think 130, 130, 140, 140. Can't remember what my Izzo has. It makes my old body feel better though. I'll tell you that much. I've been riding hardtail my whole life, and I finally shot the lock off the wallet and got myself something nice.
Mm-hmm.
And it really makes an incredible difference in recovery time after a ride.
Yeah.
Mind you, there's not a lot of elevation here, but very technical.
But the suspension's not really for elevation. It's for the chatter in the trail.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean is I've got a lot of roots. I've got a lot of coral. I've got a lot of wooden features, and my body is handling it better because of the full suspension. We're talking about recovery time. The first time I met you, I had ripped. Remember that? I don't know if you remember that. I ripped a bunch of stuff in my arm, and I showed you a picture.
Yes.
I had hyperextended my arm. Someone's actually had the video. A year later or whatever, they showed it. My nephew had it, and he never showed it to us. You see my arm fold almost all the way back, and I had bruised and ripped. I don't know what I did. We were talking about I don't go to the doctor. I just rubbed some dirt in it.
Yeah.
And you had some Tommy John.
I was just gonna say, was it like that baseball thing? Like, you ever seen a slow-mo video of a pitcher throwing a baseball and their arm just like contorts backwards?
It literally,
like that.
It was almost, honey, if you're still watching, it was so bad. And we were talking about, and you had some injury. You called it a Tommy John? Something?
Tommy John surgery is what I'm not a sports fan, baseball fan, whatever, but I believe Tommy John surgery is the surgery that baseball pitchers have from
that. Yeah.
I've never had that. No.
Okay. You had
what it was? It was, I had hurt my elbow playing disc golf, and I said it's probably something equivalent to trying to throw a forehand, hurting my elbow. That's probably what it was.
You know what's funny is I did not watch our other interview before this, and this is just recall. Very weird. So, and then I had wrecked on my side and had a bad bruise. Since then, I lost the tip of my finger.
Oh no. How?
It was a boating accident, but I just think it's funny with last time I talked to you, I had an injury, and then now I'm talking to you again, and I had lost you can actually see the line.
Yeah, I see the scar.
The scar. I got a nail and everything. All these people who are watching or listening, they're like, "We're tired of your finger, Johnny." We're talking about your finger, but it was relevant.
Crashing. That's what my video tomorrow is.
Oh, you crashing?
Yeah.
A year ago.
2 years ago. Yeah. 2 years ago, and I still feel it every day.
You're right, folks. I'm not going to keep you anymore. I know this is your night. But I'm doing a new thing. It's the last few. I'm doing a new thing. They're rapid fire questions.
Let's do it.
Let's get to know Calvin outside of cancer and biking and content creating. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Can you do this?
I hope so.
Are you sure?
Let's see. We'll find out.
Ladies and gentlemen, the rapid fire questions with Calvin, a.k.a. the Shred Shed. Favorite ice cream flavor?
Oh boy. Usually like go-to is like a moose tracks, deer tracks, whatever the tracks, something like that.
It's got that hardened fudge swirl thing that once you get the whole thing comes out.
Yeah. I'm on a really strict diet for the last like year or so, but ice cream is always the one that somehow slips back in.
Yeah, ice cream is the bane of it is my kryptonite.
Yeah.
That along with like 20 other things. That's why I look the way I do. If you could go back to any era in time, when and where would you go?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, this is a tough one. That's why I say rapid fire.
Any era like not in my lifetime, like could just be like it could be the 1600s or something.
Yeah, like if you could go back fighting with swords in England.
I don't know. I've never thought about it, but it's funny that you bring that up because there was a thing going around on like Instagram and stuff for a while. It's like ask your husband how often they think about was it the Roman Empire or something.
Okay.
It was something like that. Like apparently every guy has thought about the Roman Empire or something like that. I never have. Anyways,
neither have I.
I have no idea. I've never put any thought into that. Maybe future. See what's ahead. I don't know.
Okay.
I've never thought about it.
Folks. That was a throwaway.
Sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. If you could have dinner with any person, dead or alive, just to pick their brain or just to be able to spend that much time with somebody.
Again, I've never thought of this stuff. You're asking the deep
that's
questions.
what this
I'm
is
not a
all
deep
about.
person.
It's not rapid fire. It's just, we call it that. I do this a lot today. I did this in therapy today. I'm just doing a lot of air quotes.
Yeah. I'd have dinner with you, Johnny. That's my answer.
All right, I'm ending this right now.
I don't know. I'd say the person I watch and listen to the most online is Joe Rogan. So it'd be interesting to have dinner with him just to see how he is in real life, to see if it's the exact same. Like, obviously, that's how he is. You hear him every single day for hours a day. Like,
he is who he is.
Yeah. So that'd be an interesting conversation.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Another podcaster. Death row meal. And I love this. Somebody said, I did this with someone else and they were like, why do I have to be on death row? And I'm like, because you can have anything you want. You're about to go down.
So I mentioned I'm on a pretty strict diet. So I think the thing I crave the most is pizza, but sometimes I'm pizzaed out because my wife and I actually met working together at a pizza place when we were in college. So we ate a lot of pizza when we worked at pizza shops. So I'm going to say pizza because that's something I'm like, oh, pizza sounds good right now.
That's funny. I worked at Pizza Hut. And I never, they always say if you eat work at an Italian restaurant, you get sick of eating Italian or whatever.
If it's not good Italian. But if you work at a good pizza shop, no one gets sick of pizza.
No, I've worked at so many restaurants and I've never been sick of anything. What is it? Favorite childhood, and this is great for you because you raced. Favorite childhood bike? Which one was your favorite?
I probably did the most riding on, I believe it was called the Trek Bruiser.
Trek Bruiser.
It was like a hybrid between a hardtail and a dirt jumper where it had like kind of DJ geometry, but it still had a full cassette for mountain biking. So you could like shift through all your gears and stuff. I would say that's the first real mountain bike I ever had. So that's my favorite one.
That's your favorite childhood bike.
Yeah.
7 days a week, twice on Sunday. It was my Schwinn Predator, 1982, chromoly. Oh, got stolen.
Oh no, man!
We need a minute. Here we go. Your favorite band? All time.
Oh, I listen to a lot of weird music, and I have a lot of weird taste in music.
No, like weird, like
No, just like all over the spectrum,
Enya stuff, or
like indie music and pop music and rock music and Christian music, and it's like it's everywhere. Like I have my playlists are ridiculous.
this. This my wife. I listen to death metal, and then I have NSYNC on here. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I'm a sucker for like a girly like pop song too. So
Yeah. Oh no, I have. What's that girl's name? She's got a talk show now. Oh, she was on American Idol. I mean, I have some serious bad, not good stuff on there that I love that just releases tension.
yeah, my wife always teases me because like a girly song like Megan Trainor, I like some of her songs, and like a song
Oh, I
like that
love
will
Megan
come on.
Trainor.
Yeah. And my wife's like, "Oh, you like the song, don't you?" I'm like, "Of course I do. Listen to it. It's so catchy." I don't know. I'm doing so bad at this. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. I just threw this out at you. Your best Halloween costume.
One time when I was a kid,
Oh, he's got one.
yep. One it's a sore spot. One time when I was a kid, I dressed up as a grandma for Halloween, and it was like a Hawaiian shirt with like khaki pants, and I had like a hula hoop in it, so I had like wide hips, and I'd walk, and it was like whatever. And I had a wig, and my mom put makeup on me. Like I was decked out as a grandma. I was probably like, I'm gonna guess 8 years old or something like that. I was decked out as a grandma, and we went to this Halloween party, and they did this game where like you put a fishing pole in behind this like board, and someone was back then they'd hook a toy onto the fishing pole. They had boys gifts and girls gifts. I got a girls gift because they thought I was an actual girl dressing up to be a grandma.
Oh,
So I guess my costume was good enough to sell it. And then it was later on that day we were at like the dinner part of the Halloween party. I had the wig taken off, and this lady came up and she's like, "I'm so sorry. I thought here's your like you can change toys," or because I asked if I could change and they said no. And they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Here's your like actual gift." So that's probably the best one I've ever had, apparently.
oh, that's a good one. You're a little girl. Look at you now, hulking man is in front of us. JT, we put the rap in the rapid fire. Or was the best favorite movie? This is always my favorite because I used to be a movie critic.
Oh, that's right. I really liked. There's a couple that I like a lot. I'm also not a movie person. I have not watched very many movies, so I
But
like.
everyone has a movie though.
Yeah, I liked American Sniper a lot. That's one that sometimes like I'll still pay to rent it because I like it and want to see it again.
I'm gonna have to rewatch that now though.
I just watched the movie called The Accountant again, which that was a good one.
You like snipers?
Yeah, like that type of movie that fits into like kind of what I like. That's a good one.
That's with Ben Affleck.
That sounds right.
And he's like got OCD and
he's like a wizard with accounting, but then is also like a phenomenal shot. So movies in that realm I like. So.
Yeah. Do you listen to books on tape or read books?
I just started. Yeah, I just started this year actually reading, trying to do. Here's my gripe, man.
Not a rapid fire though.
I started diving deep into the world of audiobooks, and because I've always liked books, but I don't like reading. I'm not a good reader, but I like the idea of gaining the knowledge from books.
I'm not a good reader.
Yeah. So audiobooks are perfect. Well, I pay for Spotify Premium for music and podcasts and all that stuff. And I found out that they have audiobooks on there. And I'm like, oh, heck yeah. I'm going to listen to a bunch of books. Well, it was like January 4th, and I get a notification on Spotify, you've reached your 16-hour maximum. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do for the rest of the month? It's the 4th.
Audible.
So, yeah. I've heard of a few other options you can use, and like there's a couple other things that we pay for that include like Amazon, for example, apparently includes audiobooks too.
What?
I've been told. I haven't looked for myself, but I've been told that. So
if you love sniper stuff, CIA agent stuff, Gray Man.
Gray Man. So That's the same as like there's a movie on that, right?
Mm,
Not the same? Okay.
it is the same. It's based on that character, but if you're a fan of the book, Ryan Gosling is not the gray man.
Okay.
He's way too attractive.
I tried to watch the movie and I stopped after, I don't know if I made it 15
I
minutes.
watched it because I was a huge fan of it. And it's one of those where you go, this isn't any one of the books. It was just based on the character. Like none of the story was any of the books.
Okay.
It was loosely based on the character, but yeah, really good stuff. Okay, back to this. Dream job when you were a kid, what did you want to be?
Astronaut. It was something I always wanted to be.
Oh,
That's probably like every boy's dream at one point. It's like, I want to go to the moon. I want to go to space.
no. So I think I wanted to be a fireman.
There's the handful of things there.
Yeah, I want to be a police officer, I want to be a fireman, I want to be an astronaut.
Yeah, I want to be an astronaut.
Yeah, my wife wanted
Here
to
I
be
am on
one.
Earth, not in space.
My wife wanted to be an astronaut. She actually went to the space camp.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What does that entail?
What does it entail, honey? I think you go in that thing and they spin you around or something.
Really?
And lastly, number 10, we veered off a little bit. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Fly, for sure. Flying. I'm assuming that counts as a superpower. Like, no one can fly, so.
Yes. And
but not like flap my wings and fly, just like, yeah. I don't know. You're gonna hate me for this. I've never seen of any of like the Marvels or Supermans or anything. Like I've never seen those, but I would imagine like how a Superman would fly like that.
Oh, that's so funny. Because I've had this debate with a coworker once, and she goes, "Why do you want to fly?" And I go, "Because you can get somewhere fast, and it'd be cool to see." She goes, "I would want to teleport." There's something to be said about that one.
Yeah, for me, it's not getting somewhere fast. It's for the fun aspect of like, I could just go fly. Okay.
What? I could fly? Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I want to do. It's like, I want to look down.
Yeah.
And yeah, the teleport is kind of, and it goes back to the saying, it's not the destination, it's the journey.
I mean, teleporting is probably more of a practical superpower.
Yeah,
right?
like, and you I Dream of Jeannie or something. You're too young.
Nah, I don't know. But like, yeah.
You blink your eyes, and next thing you know, I'm in Michigan riding with you.
Mm.
But I'd like to fly and see everything while I'm there carrying my bike.
Yeah, I say I wish I could fly, but I hate flying in airplanes. Like, I'd much rather drive wherever I want to go instead of fly, like commute on an airplane. I'd much rather drive. The first time we went to Whistler, we drove there. It's 46 hours from our house, and we drove there the first time we went there.
What?
Yeah. It was on our honeymoon, so we did a huge mountain bike road trip, and we wanted to do stops, and we didn't want to only go to Whistler. We wanted to go to Glacier, and we wanted to go to Utah and California and Colorado, and so we drove.
Yeah,
we did like 8,000 miles in a leased Jeep Renegade.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. You'd rather drive. You're like my friend Brian on a bike. He'd rather drive and see everything. And there's something to be said about that.
Yeah, my thought is too, is like
stops.
Your whole day is dedicated to travel, even if you take an airplane too. Like, so where we just went in Florida is, I think it's like 16 hours away or something like that. Don't quote me. I could be wrong, but okay, well, we spent 12 hours flying basically. By the time you drive to the airport, you sit at the gate, you load, you spend a couple hours, you wait for your luggage, then you wait for your ride. Like the same amount of time is spent, but then I could have saved $1,000 and just drove there. That's my thought. It's not always cut and dry, but that's my thought.
You know what I had a bad taste in my mouth with driving was during COVID, I drove to visit my mom for Thanksgiving, and I surprised her. She had no idea. And I tested almost every day before I went up, just because my mom, don't say elderly. I mean, she was in her 70s. To me, that's not elderly anymore. But I wanted to test and make sure I didn't have it so I could surprise her. Mm-hmm. It took me 16 hours. And
It's a
by
long
that
time in the
time,
car.
what's that?
It's a long time in the car.
Oh, nonstop.
Were you by yourself?
By myself.
Wow, that's a
I
lot.
was, I was listening to a really, really long Stephen King book. That guy can't put the pen down. I don't know if you've listened to any of his books. He can't put the pen down. They're like 32 hours.
Oh boy.
If you listen to his book. And then driving back, it took me 22 because I blew a tire in the middle of the night
Oh no.
on a stretch in Florida where I couldn't see. I actually had my phone propped up on a rock with the flashlight. Cars are going past me at like 90 miles an hour and I can't see. So
That's the worst.
look at that. Your mom is getting some of those.
The shed just made a good comment too. Like,
yeah, and then
and they cancel your flight. Like, did I include that in my Whistler video? I can't remember if I did or not.
Okay. Yeah, I think you did actually. Yeah, I think you did the whole like chaos of your.
Yeah, we drove all the way to the Toronto airport because one, it was cheaper to fly Canada to Canada because now it's no longer it's not an international flight anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So we saved some money from that. But also where we're at in Michigan, there's no airports big enough that would have a direct flight from where we live to Whistler or Vancouver, or any of those airports out there. They were all like fly here to Chicago and then to Texas and then like, all right, we're for sure losing our bikes if we do that.
Yeah.
And then also none of the planes are big enough to reserve 2 bikes. They would only allow 1 bike to be reserved. So it's like, all right, Rach, you take your bike and I'll just hope there's room for mine. Cool. So we weren't willing to roll the dice on that. So we flew out of Toronto. So we booked a hotel with one of those like park sleep fly kind of things where you leave your car at the hotel.
Yeah.
We drove there, which is like 5 hours from our house. We got there at like midnight and they're like, yeah, we're overbooked. Sorry. We don't have a place for you to stay. So we slept in the parking garage at the airport. And then we paid substantially more money for parking for the 2 weeks, week and a half, 2 weeks ish. We were in Whistler. We paid substantially more parking at the airport than we would have for the hotel and subsequent parking at the hotel. So we paid more money to sleep in my Jeep.
It's the shed brings up. We were going to visit her brother one weekend up in Connecticut, my wife's brother in Connecticut. And it was a late flight. Every flight out of Miami was canceled. There were storms. The lines, all our luggage went to Connecticut. We said, what are you doing? Can we get our bags off the plane tonight? They go, no, it's too much of a hassle. So tomorrow the flight's going to go. You're not going to be on it, but the flight's going to Connecticut and your bags are going. I had to wait 2 days to get all my clothes back. Riding dirty, ladies and gentlemen. Coming in late hour, but thank you, sir. I appreciate you always. Eric Riding Dirty. Mr. Shred Shed. Calvin.
Yes.
You got to check out all these guys in the comments.
I know. I've seen a handful of them. All of them, no. Again, I don't know how you have time to watch everyone like you do, but
this guy, I've actually, I'd say ride with him. He was already down at the bottom of the hill. And I was breathing hard going downhill. Incredible content creator, Dusty Dutchman. Everyone here, I mean, I can go through them all. Just amazing. I appreciate you so much, brother.
Appreciate you.
I can't thank you so much for coming on my channel again. Didn't you learn something the first time?
Yeah, that I want to keep coming back for more.
Oh, you son of a... I can't thank you enough, man. I really appreciate your time. I'm a huge fan, and I loved seeing that you were back after what you went through, and I wanted to get the perspective of coming back. And
yeah, appreciate having me on and letting me ramble about all that stuff for a little bit. It's hard to put into words like what it's like going through those situations and then trying to voice your thoughts and all that stuff. So I don't know if I did a good job or not, but the word vomit that came out is
You're doing incredible. But JT, I am learning. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. I had a session today. We're doing good. No, I do. I really appreciate your compliments. I appreciate everybody in the comment section that was here
Mhm.
and the people that are going to watch later on. This grows as the night and days go on.
Mhm.
I appreciate you. I can't say it enough. I don't even know where to go. Like, again, just probably fanboying. But thank your wife for allowing you to tell her story
Mhm.
and to allow you the time to come on my channel and to talk about creating content tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll have a video up tomorrow morning. It's currently scheduled for I think 7 a.m. I always forget the scheduled post time that I usually do, but I think it's 7 a.m. tomorrow. Why I chose that time, no idea, but that's when it goes up.
First out of the gate. There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah, it's a fun one. It's a talking head video for the most part. Like it's on the worst crash I've ever had. So I enjoyed filming it. It's nothing like any other video I've made before. So who knows if
Wait a
people
minute.
are gonna
You
enjoy it.
did post one of your worst crashes. There's a
What?
long pause now. Did you?
I mean, I have crashes, yeah, but this one was like I still feel this crash every single day in my shoulder and sometimes my neck.
Yeah, where you had one really bad.
You're probably referencing the one in a Bentonville video where I crashed on some of the jumps there.
Okay.
I'm guessing that's what you're talking about.
I don't know. You had a really bad accident. Probably it was the jump, 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 and then there's the drop.
Yeah, yep.
That one was it.
That's not the video for tomorrow, but I know.
Okay, I'm just gonna stop.
No, that was that was a bad crash. That's probably my second worst, I would say.
Okay. Well, I can't wait to see it, folks. If you want to check out his stuff, it's all here underneath this little thing. If you listen on Spotify, it'll all be under there too. I'm really bad at getting it on Spotify. I didn't even get last week's on there yet.
I can listen to myself on Spotify. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you can listen to yourself on Spotify because you got the premium
Yeah.
on Spotify. But again, thank you so much, Calvin. Again, thank you all in the comments section for jumping on live. You know I love you, kids. So if you can, you know what to do. Go get your bikes dirty.
Yeah, and one more thing, like what Dusty Dutchman here is saying, learn to take a compliment, Johnny. I will say what you do at this channel is super fun. Like it's literally cultivated a community of mountain bikers, whether it be content creators, people who want to watch content creators, whatever it may be. It's super fun. I don't get to catch all of them, but I catch as many of them as I can, and they're all really fun. So it's really fun to be part of it now too. I
have been taking the compliments lately after a few minutes, but I do appreciate that. I do. Again, I know I'm bringing this longer, but I never thought doing this would do what you just said.
Mm.
And again, I thought we would just do an interview and then it was over. And then I've met people like JT and all these, everybody. And I appreciate all of you. And I appreciate the fact that you enjoy what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you.
Yep. Keep making them.
Oh, I almost did it again. Oh, folks, go get your bikes dirty.